Hello, Kipsters. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. This is our final lesson of our musical rhythm nearpod segment that we've been working on this past week. Okay, if you were just joining us today, if you don't mind, I would like you to go back and follow along with the nearpod link that I've entered, just so that you can kind of self-teach yourself this lesson. If you don't want to watch the video, if you want to go at your own pace, having me here really helps make things more clear. But you can certainly catch up on your own with these nearpod links that I will be providing specifically for this lesson. All right. Hopefully, we get through this lesson fully today. That is my expectation, and so I believe that is what will happen. But if not, that is all right. But I'm certain we most likely should. Thank you again so much for enjoying this, for being here, for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Trying your best to make things as normal as they can be during this transition we're all going through. Okay, so if you haven't already, go ahead and find the slide that we stopped off last time. So the last thing we stopped on was, I believe, that open-ended question: how many beats were in that rhythm that we all sang together at the end? So if you are along, we should be on this page that says "Create that rhythm." If you're following along on Nearpod, and if you're with me right now. All right. Moving along, let's go ahead and click on our next slide. With your drawing tool, create a rhythm that lasts 4 beats, 1 beat per box. Use the reference image to help remind you of how many beats each note is worth. So in the picture before, it said that we were going to, I was going to show you some of the answers of your peers, and then we were going to clap those back. Since we don't have that option right now, we're not all together. We're just going to make our own rhythm here and then submit it and then move on. All right. So I'm going to read it again. With your drawing tool, create a rhythm that lasts 4 beats. All right, so we have a couple rhythms over here that can last 4 different beats. All right, we have 4 boxes. If you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each box is 1 beat. All right, so these boxes have to be full of something, but they can't be full with more than 1 beat. All right, that's the trick. They can't be full with more than 1 beat. So I'm going to go ahead and try on my own. You go ahead and try on your own as well. I'm going to write mine and you write yours. Give you guys a couple more seconds. I know it's hard to use the mouse pad sometimes. Patience, patience, patience. Okay, if you're looking on my video right now, you can see that I wrote 1 and 2, 3, 4. All right, if you want to go back to the YouTube video and see what I wrote, you can go ahead and do that. But I'm just telling you what I wrote. I wrote again 1 and 2, 3, 4. All right, if I clap it, I go like this: 1 and 2, 3, 4. All right, and you can see here that I have nothing in this space. Why is that? Let's try and see if I put something here, what happens. I'm going to clap this out. Here we go. I'm going to try it. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Try it again. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 5 different notes here as well. But we also have 5 beats. All right. So technically we need to get rid of this. All right. It's adding an extra beat. And remember, the directions said we can only have 4 beats. So way long ago, we said that silence can take up the space of a beat, but it doesn't have to make a sound. It doesn't have to make a rhythmic sound. Okay. This is what we're experiencing right now. 1 and 2, 3, 4. We need that space in there so that we can have only 4 beats. Otherwise, there'll be too many beats. All right. Go ahead and submit your response. I hope that was clear to you. And I hope I made it, like I said, as clear as I possibly can there. Another open-ended question. Hopefully you're following along on Nearpod so I can see all your awesome answers. All right. If you are writing a rhythm that takes up 4 beats, could you include 2 whole notes? I like this question. I'm going to ask it again. If you are writing a rhythm that takes up 4 beats, could you include 2 whole notes? Why or why not? Now, how many beats does 1 whole note make? You should be able to say this right off. As soon as I ask the question, you should be able to answer that. How many beats does 1 whole note make? 4 is your answer. Okay. You should know that. That should be the baseline standard of knowing how to identify rhythmic notes. So if we have 2 whole notes, we're adding another whole note. So we're doing some addition here. We're adding another whole note. All right. 4 plus 4 is what? 8. All right. So the question, if you are writing a rhythm that takes up 4 beats, could you include 2 whole notes? No. No, you cannot include 2 whole notes because 2 whole notes equals 8 beats. We're in 4th and 5th grade here. We can do this math. We can make these numbers work. All right. We know how to make that happen. I know you guys can do it. Submit. All right. That's the answer. You should have something along those lines. Next slide here. Let's try on our own. Let's see what we got. Let's see what they got us doing here. All right. Matching. Match each music note to its name. You guys should be able to do this. Let's start with a half note. Ooh, half note. This one is quarter note. I love this. Whole note is the one we just talked about, the circle note. And eighth note, this should say an eighth notes because you see there's 2 notes here. But this is, yes, the correct 8th note. Well done, 4 tries. All right, moving along. I hope you guys got that easily. If not, go ahead and try it on your own. With your drawing tool, fill in the missing note that would make the rhythm pattern sound like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll say it again. With your drawing tool, fill the missing note that would make the rhythm pattern sound like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to do the same thing we did in the last video. I'm going to write the numbers under the letters or the notes. 1, 2, and we know 8th notes have an and in it when we say it. 3, and the last number we wanted, as the question said, 4. All right. So basically, we don't have any and it's the last beat, so it only can take up 1 beat spot. It can only take up 1 beat spot. So we got to write a note that equals 1 beat. And that note is going to be, as you all, I'm sure, know by this point, a quarter note. All right. So go ahead and write that quarter note down. Submit your answer. It should look like this. Awesome work. Moving on along. With your drawing tool, circle the 8th notes in red. Then circle the quarter notes in blue and the half notes in green. All right, so I'm going to move this guy right up here. So it asked us one more time, just so we can have this perfect. With your drawing tool, circle the 8th notes in red. So I'm going to change my color down here to red. That's how you change the color right there. We're going to circle our 8th notes. So we have some 8th notes here. We can see by the lines that are connected. Some 8th notes here. And we circle those slowly but surely, just so it's a little neat. You don't have to rush. All right, and you can do this on your own time in the nearpod. Nice. And then let's see the question we can. So when we are in nearpod and we want to see our question again, we click this blue arrow right here to the top left. Circle the quarter notes in blue. So we're going to go back to blue. And so we see here we have some notes that are empty. I don't think that's a quarter note. I think that's a half note. So we're not going to circle that in blue. We're going to circle these ones that are filled in. These are quarter notes. Circle all of these small guys. You can make this a big circle if you want, since it's all the same measure. See, this is a nice teaching moment. This is a measure. All right, you see how there's bars here on this, and there's only a certain amount of notes that fit into that bar. This specific song is 3 beats per measure. As you can see over here, it says 3/4. All right. Normally that says 4/4, or in other situations that says 4/4, and that's why we've been counting to 4. But sometimes that number can say 3. Sometimes that number can say 2. Sometimes that number can say 12. Music is very complicated at times when we get to the advanced level. But for right now, just giving you a little visual of that. This one specifically has only 3 beats in each measure. Okay. Circle another quarter note, and I'm going to circle these last 3 quarter notes over here. Now it says on the last thing we have to circle our half notes in green. So that just basically leaves us with the last few notes to circle. Now, technically, when it has a dot on it, it is not just a half note. It is a dotted half note. Okay, so it is a half note still, but it's not just a half note. It actually equals 3 beats because there's a dot, and that's a little more advanced, but that is just a clarification for some of you who may know that already. This is a true half note. Why? Because it equals 2, and then we have the third beat right here. So 1, 2, 3. And then, like I said, this is a 3-beat song, so the measures only stop after the third beat, and they start over. And then we have another half note, or a dotted half note on beat 1. This would equal 3. 1, 2, 3. This would equal 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the last one equal 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry too much about the dot. It is, like I said, an advanced thing that we haven't even discussed yet, especially in this lesson. But know that is a specific type of half note, although it is still a half note. If your answer looks something like this, then you had it right. Go ahead and submit. And I think it'll give you the answer here. Oh, see, they didn't even have green on it. They didn't even do the green, so we did better than them. Nice job. Let's see what we've learned. We got a quiz coming up. Move this down here so we can see. Remember, this was that question I was saying earlier. You should just know this. How many beats is a whole note worth? Is it 1? 2? 4? Yeah. Whole note is 4, as you have so quickly learned during these 4 days. And that should be, like I said, very easy for you to understand at this point. Go ahead and select next. Which of these notes is the shortest? All right, so let's just go through these notes real quick. Eighth note, we have, when we make an eighth note, we do 1 and. When we make a quarter note, we do 1. And we make a half, we do 1, 2. So which is the shortest? 1 and 1, 1, 2. Shortest, I would say, is an eighth note, right? Because it's half of a quarter, and half of something is smaller than the original portion. Okay, so eighth note here. If you had that before I even explained it, great. Just wanted to make sure we're all clarified on that. Moving on to number 3. Which of these notes is the longest? It's definitely not eighth, because we just answered that as the shortest, if we were right. Quarter equals 1, and then a half equals 1, 2. So the longer one, 2 beats. Obviously, the obvious winner here is half. All right, and our last question of this quiz: how can you count this rhythm? So we have our rhythm up here. Maybe it'll click it. Yep, it'll go bigger for us. Let's just count this together. See if you can do it without my help. 1, 2, ready, go. I'll say it this time, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So does A say that? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Let's see what B says. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That sounded a little bit familiar. I'll go with C just to make sure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I don't think we did anything like that. So our answer here is going to have to be B. And we click submit. Nice work there, guys. I'm sure you all got 100% correct on that, especially because we just went through the answers together. All right. Let's reflect. Open-ended question here. What's something you learned, not just today, but through these 4 days about rhythm and note value? This can be your very own answer here. I learned that a whole note is 4 beats. I also learned that a half note is 2 beats. I also learned that a quarter note is 1 beat, and I also learned that an eighth note is a half a beat. All right, you don't have to put also, but it could have been any of those that you learned, that this and that, and it could have been that you forgot what a quarter note is and you remembered, or it could have been that you learned what an eighth note was and you finally understood it even after last year, or that you all learned a whole note. So go ahead and write whatever you would like or whatever you learn, Ram, Sam, Sam, all that, and submit your answer. Okay. Um, Here is a nice little spot we can do to get me a nice check on how we're doing with rhythm. All right. So, what we're doing here is just circle how comfortable you feel about recognizing notes and creating rhythm. At this point, um, I'm asking you, how certain can you be or feel that you would be able to identify eighth notes, quarter notes, and half notes and whole notes on a sheet of music? If you think you can do that, go ahead and go green. I'm a pro, ready to move on. If you're not there yet, go ahead and just circle stop. Please, Mr. Isaac, I need some extra help here. And if you're like, I kind of got it, something else would help me, which is a very fine answer. I'm very all right with that. You go ahead and circle yellow. Very all right with all the answers. Please make sure you submit this on Nearpod so that I can get some feedback on where you all are with this, since we can't be virtual. All right. Thank you guys again so much for following along. I have enjoyed this segment with you, and I hope that our lessons can continue to be this interactive. Hopefully, next week we can get some more time with Chrome Music Lab, so that especially now that we are a little bit more aware of rhythm, which is something I wanted us to be before we got deeper into it. Mr. Oz, I want you to remember always you are kind, you are smart, you are important. And as always, I cannot wait until the day I see you guys again in person. Have an awesome day, have an awesome weekend. And yeah, thank you guys so much for following along with these lessons. I know it is a challenge, but I know you are all up to the challenge. Have a great day, guys.